What's going on, everyone? My name is Olivia Parks and welcome back to the channel. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can create a hiring plan for your business and how you can always know who to hire next, and that's going to drive your business forward. So before we dive in, I'd super appreciate if you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. And any questions that you have throughout this video, please leave them below in the comments. I will personally be responding to all the comments, and I will be creating videos if there's enough requests on like a particular question or follow-up things that you guys have. So we've got quite a bit to cover. I'm going to keep it as short as possible, but I'm going to share my screen because I love to give you guys a little resource that you can refer to after, because I know like it's hard to take notes in all these videos, right? Especially if I'm talking fast. So I want you guys to have something to refer back to. Now, before you think about hiring, you need to have a few things in mind. Ideally, you want to have 3 to 6 months of business and personal expenses saved up, ideally 6. Now, most people will just tell you about the business because they'll just be thinking the biz is the biz. And it is, right? But you need to remember, like most of you watching this video, you're probably the CEO. It's probably a small business right now, and you're going to be taking a lot of risks. And for you to be like coming to those risks with the right energy, with that abundance energy, it's super important that you do have your personal expenses saved up as well, right? Because you're going to run your business with a whole different energy if you know you already have 6 months of personal and 6 months of business expenses saved up, right? Because your business will only survive a bad, like people make bad hires all the time, like it happens, right? And if you keep watching this channel, I'm going to show you how to avoid that as much as possible, but it does happen. And you will only survive those types of things if your business has cash flow. Like you need to have cash flow. Your business cannot survive without enough cash flow. So if you're not in a position right now where you have 3 to 6 months of business and personal expenses saved up, I would tell you to stop watching this video right now. And well, you can still watch the video because there's actually going to be some helpful things for you to know how to manage your time better right now, even though you're not in that position. So you can be focusing on the activities that are going to help you get in that position much faster. And then once you're there, you can come back to hiring, right? Then you can think about hiring. Because the thing is, like, so many people want to hire too soon. They want to hire too soon and they want to get out of the pain. Because I know it's painful. You're running your small business, there's a lot of shit to do, and you want to delegate stuff. I get it. We've all been there. But the thing is, you need to withstand the pain a little bit longer so you can set your business up in the best position, right? And there's many reasons why you want to do that. First of all, like you don't want to hire the first person that comes across your table. You don't know that they're going to be the right fit. Like there's actually an extensive hiring process you want to put them through, and I'll cover that in another video. But things like that. Just because something is hard doesn't mean that you should delegate it yet. Like as I'm going to cover in the video, you have to be getting a result in the task you want to delegate before you hire someone to do it. Because if you can't, let's say like you want to hire someone to do lead generation. This is a common example I've seen, right? Someone doesn't have 3 to 6 months of business expenses saved up. They're spending a lot of time doing lead gen, but they hate lead gen and they're not getting the results from it. They think if they hire someone to do lead gen, all of a sudden their lead gen problem is going to be fixed and they're going to have more money and everything's going to be fine. That almost never happens because they haven't already had success in lead gen. So it's the blind leading the blind. It's the blind leading the blind. If you take someone over to do your lead generation, they're going to not know what the fuck to do, right? Because you didn't know what you're doing, and so you don't have a proper process to teach them. So I know it's painful and I know it's hard, but you have to make sure you have that cash flow saved up first, and you have to make sure that you are getting a clear result in what you want to delegate first, right? And then as you go into the hiring, you want to be creating clear job descriptions. And I'm going to make a separate video on what I mean by that. Basically what you want the person to do and what result they're driving, right? Everyone on your team is driving results. If you just think that they're there to, do little tasks for you, like that's not the case. They're here to drive a result, and they need to know that, because results are what drives your business, right? And you want to have training and onboarding for them to go through, and you can create this while you're doing the interview process, right? Now, onto the good stuff. To know who to hire first or next, if you've already made some hires, you need to follow this process. So the first thing I want you to do is work out your dollar per hour. And I know as business owners, we're taught don't exchange your time for money. And that's not what we're doing here. I'm not trying to get you to exchange your time for money, but I'm trying to get you to see that you are still putting time into your business right now. So how much is your time actually worth? Because you might have made 30K, 50K last month, but how much did you profit and how much did you work, right? And this is gonna like be quite enlightening to a lot of you, I reckon. So you want to work out what was your profit last month, like your actual profit, not your cash collected, not your revenue. Like, I don't care if you contracted 50K last month, but 30K was in the bank. Okay, 30K was in the bank. How much of that was profit? Was it 15K? Was it 20K? Right? Like, what was your actual profit? How many hours did you work last month? Like, actually, how many hours? Go through your Google Calendar. If you don't know exactly, do your best estimate. If it's usually like 5 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, like, be honest with yourself. And then you're going to divide your profit by the total amount of hours, and that's going to be your dollar per hour. Now, the goal is to increase your dollar per hour, and you want to do this by cutting the hours you work and cutting the hours you work on low dollar tasks. Because ideally, we just want to get you working on the tasks that bring in the most money to your business. And the more time, like the more that you can delegate tasks that don't bring much money into the business but still need to get done, the more your business will grow, right? So I will have you do that first, so you see like it's actually super important that you do this shit, right? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to audit your time. So go through your Google Calendar. And if you don't already use Google Calendar, I encourage you to use it just so you kind of have a reference point to see like what did you actually do, or use a journal or something so you can actually see like what were you doing and did that lead to the results that you wanted? Because if you don't have a record of it, there's nothing you can change, right? So you want to see what activities are taking you the most time right now. Like, where are you spending all your time? Are these actually critical tasks that move the business forward, or are they just fluff? Are they just fluff, or is often the case, are they stuff that you've kind of convinced yourself you think is important to avoid doing the super important work? And I know that sounds hard to hear, but that's why most businesses don't grow, right? So be honest with yourself. And if you're struggling with like what are the critical tasks, you can take them through this framework, right? To find out what actually are the critical tasks that move your business forward, aka the non-negotiables that need to happen every day for your business to keep moving forwards. For most people, that's going to be talking to potential customers, servicing the customers. That's it. Even if you did nothing else, like you didn't make content, you didn't do anything, like so long as you went out into the world and spoke to some potential customers and you serviced your existing customers, your business is going to take over. So they're the first things that you want to look at delegating, right? And I'll show you in the order of delegation later, but like things like lead generation, like that mass lead generation, getting your feelers out to the first potential customers, like that's the first thing you want to be delegating, right? So they're the critical tasks. Then important tasks is going to be things like making content, making a sales page, like running ads, like things like that. And then indulgence is going to be like upgrading your website, like doing those things that are just would be great to have, but you don't really need them, right? And so the idea, and then just see what you can delete. Like, what are you literally just like doesn't need to be done? It can go, right? Because I bet there's a lot of those things. And the goal is to kind of figure out like every time, what are the non-negotiables for your business right now? So let's say it's you right now, and it's just you. It's literally just you. So every day the non-negotiables are going to be, you need to do outreach to clients. So whatever platform that is on, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, like you need to do your outreach to clients. You need to service your current clients. And then ideally you want to make some content. You're going to get on some sales calls most likely, right? But if you only did like 3 of those things, it would be the lead gen, and it would be the servicing clients, and then it would be the sales calls if you had them. But the goal is you want to delegate the lead gen, and then eventually the bits of client fulfillment that you don't want to be involved in anymore. Because I'm not saying you have to delegate all your client fulfillment. I know a lot of people that run coaching businesses, that run marketing agencies, they still want to be involved in some capacity in the fulfillment, whether it's having like high level one-on-one clients or just kind of like creating the content that is going to be like delivered to clients. Like they still want to have some level of involvement. So the goal isn't to like delete everything, is to decide what do you actually want and then build the business in that way, right? But the point is, you want to delegate those tasks like the lead gen, the servicing the clients, so you can spend more time on creating content, which is important, is going to bring more brand exposure to your brand and is going to grow your business even more, right? So you want to delegate those critical tasks so you can spend more time on the important tasks, right? And you really shouldn't be doing the indulgence things until you have a team that's going to give you space to do those things. And the critical and important stuff is already being taken care of, right? Now, don't necessarily delegate what is taking you the longest. Delegate what is taking the longest and is the lowest dollar per hour activity, right? So like lead generation is going to fall into that category for most people. But you also want to see like, where are you spending time doing lots of unnecessary admin, right? Where are you like sending out contracts to clients? Where are you, it depends on the type of business, right? But let's say you have a car rental business, as I know several people with them, you might be getting a lot of like tickets from your drivers or whatever. And so someone needs to deal with that, right? So it's going to be these like admin tasks that need to get done as well that are taking a long amount of time. So things like that, you might want to quickly delegate. So that's going to give you more time to spend on improving your service so you can build that into a system that can be delegated, right? Because you also want to take into account what tasks fit into one role that you can hire for right now. Because a lot of people, when they do this exercise and they kind of see how they're actually spending their time, what are the critical tasks, they'll kind of be like a few different things, right? There's going to be lead gen, there's going to be servicing the clients, there's going to be sales calls, there's going to be content creation, right? So you want to see like what actually fits into one role right now. And so the first one is going to be like a lead gen sales rep, most likely. And then the next thing is probably going to be like a virtual assistant that can take over all of your admin tasks, like doing the posting on social media. So you're still creating the content, but they're doing the posting. You want to get a video editor. Any other business related admin that you have, you can start teaching this person like the basic tech stuff of your business that's needed. You can start getting them involved in like a bit of client communication, right? So the virtual assistant or executive assistant is going to be able to take over a lot of this admin stuff, which is then going to free you up to work on taking sales calls and improving the service. Okay. And then you want to work out the hours you need from them and the compensation structure. So the hours you need from them is going to be very much based on how much time you were putting into it and how much you can afford. Because if you were doing like 4 hours a day on lead gen, you definitely want someone doing 4 hours a day, but why not have doing 8 hours a day? Ideally, you want someone doing 8 hours a day, but the question is, can you afford that? So you need to work out what the compensation structure is. And if you want me to make a video on like the compensation structures I recommend for like the main roles in like marketing agencies, online businesses, coaching businesses, stuff like that, I'll go ahead and do that. But just so you can kind of like do it on your own terms right now, go to Indeed and work out what is the average part-time and full-time salary or hourly rates for that role in your city, right? And you have to take into account if you're hiring remote and they're in like California or New York or something, like they might want higher salary. So you need to take that into account, right? And like I said, do not hire someone to take over a process unless you're already getting results. And I actually wanted to say one more point about the cash flow. So like I said in the beginning, you want to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up. And so that's going to help you if there's ever an because it's going to take this person a little bit of time to get up to speed. Like if you're hiring someone to do lead gen, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get up to speed. So you need to factor that in. You need to have a buffer, and because there's going to be a bit of time where maybe there's less lead gen getting done. But then the goal is that these people are going to be producing an ROI themselves, right? They're going to be producing an ROI for your business. But you just need to make sure, like, can you afford to pay someone full-time instead of part-time if you want them to do lead gen? Can you afford to hire an EA full-time or part-time? And so you need to make that known in your job descriptions. Like, this is part-time and evolving into full-time if that's the case, right? And so I kind of already went through this, but the order of delegation generally is going to be something like this. It's going to be that like lead gen, that main outreach to clients. And again, you cannot delegate this until you're already doing this effectively yourself. Then you will want to delegate the admin VA stuff, like video editing, posting on socials, other business related admin, you know, like making contracts, little client communications here and there that you don't need to be involved in. And some people will prefer to delegate this first over lead gen because they're making a good amount of money, so they can afford to hire this person, but they still kind of haven't haven't quite worked out their lead gen enough to pass it off to someone else. And so just, you know, use your own awareness, be aware of that and do that. Then you will want to delegate your fulfillment. So you'll want to hire people that can help you with client fulfillment, whether that's like as a coaching business, you know, building your offers into scalable offers and then having people help you create like the sales pages, the tech side, the links, all that kind of stuff. Or whether you're a marketing agency and you need to actually hire team members that can service them, or you're a coaching business and you need to hire coaches, like whatever your business is. Maybe you're an e-com business and you need to hire operations managers who are going to take care of the orders. You need to hire customer service people. Like this is super important before you can delegate sales calls, because if you're a service-based business, which I guess most of you are watching this, and you take sales calls, or you know, some of you will probably not take sales calls, but if you are taking sales calls, you need to make sure that your fulfillment is scalable before you can delegate the sales calls. Otherwise, you're going to have an issue where you're taking on too many clients and you cannot fulfill for them, right? And then you will want to look at delegating the higher level marketing. So like having someone that runs your ads, having someone that writes your copy and your sales pages, if you don't want to do that anymore. Because as a personal brand, you need to recognize you'll always be involved in content creation to an extent, unless you transition out of your business brand. So if you ever want, like if you're not sure, but you ever think you want to maybe transition out of your brand and like not be the face of your company anymore, you need to establish like a brand for your business as well. Like my business is called The Systems Boss. So if I ever decided like I want to hire a CEO to take over my business, then, you know, I just position it like right now I'm CEO of The Systems Boss, and I let The Systems Boss be known in the minds of my customer. So they know like it's a separate business entity from me. And so if I didn't want to, you know, do that anymore, then I'd be able to transition out of it. So covered a lot in this video, but if you guys have any questions, or you have a specific business that maybe like you're not sure if it fits this flow, like go ahead and comment below, and if I get enough of that type of business, I'll make a specific video on it. Like if you want a specific hiring plan for like e-commerce, a different type of service-based business, that type of thing, then I'll go ahead and make that for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did, and I'll catch you in the next one.